Did you hear what said said?
Did you hear what said?
Did you hear what said?
And here we go. Chris, okay, first off, I want to talk about when you showed up. So today, I was thinking like, all right, what am I going to wear? This and that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to rep my boy. So Chris, thank you for coming on for sure, brother. And so I was like, man, Chris Moreno Training. So this is your logo. Actually, I'm really curious too, by the way. Why did you choose a gorilla for your logo?
So gorillas, no matter the size of them, you got gorillas that are big, like a silverback gorilla, and then you got some gorillas that are not so big. But all gorillas, they have strength. They all have, latent capabilities, right?
Yeah.
Like hidden capabilities. And it's to show that no matter your size, no matter where you're coming from, you can always build yourself to how it is that you envision yourself.
Right.
That's why, like, on the back, I have conquer or be conquered. Like, it doesn't matter how small you think you are. There are things that you can conquer that will get you better. But if you don't make the choice to do that, then don't be surprised if life and all the resistance that comes conquers you.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I chose the gorilla.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love it, man. It actually, anybody, whenever, are you still selling these?
I still have a few left. The reason why I haven't put out more is because, like, I want to get a better quality. Like, that's pretty much the simplest way I could put it. Like,
so they're
this
gonna
was
be
more like a trial thing, but yeah.
They'll be coming out. Yeah, by the way, so whenever they come out, maybe the new ones, they'll probably make you lift 20 pounds extra because
They
these
will.
make these. I approve this message because these make you lift at least 10. No, but they do because I'll shine some light on it. So, Chris, the reason why I brought you on is because I brought you on because a few things that I want to touch on is one, your mentality, your physical being. I mean, look at you. You're a specimen of what God knows, right? And then also your nutrition, the things about just the way that your life is, the way also not nutrition as only in what you intake as like food, but intake in all kinds of ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be who you surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. It could be what you listen to and things like that, because that's just what you embody. Mm-hmm. So starting with that, could you go over what you do for a living and how you help people out with, as far as like with the training program that you do and the training program that you provide, Chris Moreno Training?
Chris Moreno Training.
Mm-hmm.
So simply put, I help those build confidence through essential disciplines, which that's going to be what we do with our body and exactly like what you're saying, what we consume, right? And consume meaning food, but also the things that you're putting into your brain. And honestly, especially with the things that you put into your brain, if you're not aware of what's coming in, then it's going to seem like out of nowhere, like chaos is just coming out of nowhere. But in reality, it could simply be that what you're consuming, right? It could be like through social media, you're consuming nothing but negativity. The thing about the news is like most of the stories are going to be negative because that drives emotion, that drives ratings. But if that's all you're putting into your brain, you're never putting in like positivity, then it's only a matter of time before that negativity, transpires into a physical equivalent, like, because again, like the external is always going to be a reflection of the internal, no matter what, right? So
if you don't mind, because you mentioned that before, I mean, we talked about that before. So what do you mean by your external will be a reflection of your internal? Can you describe that for me?
So one example is, the way that you physically look is always going to be a reflection of what you're putting in, right? So like, for example, if let's say you're eating an excess amount of calories, right, all the time, every single day, you're going to blow up, right? But on the flip side, like let's say you're disciplining yourself to eat a certain amount, whether you go about the typical following a diet kind of way, or if you're just tracking your calories or macros or whatever, like the way that you look is always going to come down to what it is that you're consuming. And another side, so like not just like the physical body, but the mind, right? If you're just always consuming negative things, right? You're surrounding yourself with nothing but negativity, then it's only going to be a matter of time before it shows on the external. You're going to be walking through your day-to-day all down and have a defeated mindset. And again, you're just basically spewing out negativity. Yeah. And then now you're going to then affect the people that you're around. And it becomes a domino effect where it's like, because of the negativity that you keep on consuming and pouring out, now you're having other people around you consume negativity, and then they're going to pour it out. And that's a domino effect of what we don't want to happen. Yeah. Whereas on the flip side, if like no matter what's taking place in the world, you have the belief system that is like, hey, you know what? Nothing but great things happen to me. And you truly believe it, then it is only a matter of time before that transpires into reality. And it's not to say that you're not going to face any resistance or trials or tribulations. You will always have resistance to overcome. Mm-hmm. But what you're putting in you is going to determine how it is that you handle that resistance, how you handle those situations. So that's pretty much what I mean by...
Because you're going to get into a tough situation sooner or later.
Yes.
If not all the time.
Inevitably.
The time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be always constant working, constant pain. There's always going to be something that you're going to have to deal with.
Yes.
And if you're not physically capable for it, not just physically in a physical looking outer sense, but you're saying that it's also an internal mental thing that's going to require you to do that. And I think that's, so if somebody wants to, why would you recommend somebody to exercise? Why would you recommend someone to exercise? What's the benefit? What's the benefits to exercise? Because you got some people that, they're really successful and they're great at what they do and whatever it is, but then they're like, I don't exercise. I don't need it. So why would you recommend someone, or they feel like, I'm not fast. I can never be that strong or that top, elite person. So why would someone want to exercise?
I mean, the basics is improving your overall health, but like that's usually not a strong enough reason for people.
Right.
Simply put, it's a way to build discipline. And this is actually something that I heard from Andy Frisella. He said, happiness, the equation for that is going to be discipline plus purpose and plus gratitude. And with exercise, that is one simple way that you can build your discipline. Like, I've been working out for more than half of my life, more than 15 years.
Yeah.
Like,
so if you don't mind, I want to tell the story.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So Chris and I, we've known each other since, I've known you since high school, but you went to Miller all the way through intermediate, huh?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we didn't know each other until high school, and it wasn't until like later in high school, I think. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so in, I think 7th grade, we used to have these signs on the wall that were basically like the 150 club, bench press, right? You max out 150 club, 175 club, 200 club. And no one was on. There was people at the 175 club, and they were like, "Man, yeah, they felt big and bad," and they were strong. That's pretty strong for 7th grade. So I was born in 95, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We were 12 years old, mm-hmm. right? So we hear about this guy. His name's Chris Moreno, sitting across from me, and he's benching over 200 pounds. You were benching what at that age?
At the end of 6th grade, I was benching 225.
225, bro.
225, yeah. 2 wheels.
I'm
each
27
side.
and I haven't benched 225, bro. Seriously, I haven't. That's
good, man.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. But I'm going for a different body type.
Yeah, man. I mean?
But that's ridiculous, because it was like a legend in the game at such a young age. You have been this guy who you constantly put in. You're a practitioner to the work that you do, and I think that's great. That's why I brought you on. I brought you on because I want to help out those people that, even though you may not be training them, I want to help them out if they hear this, when they do hear this podcast.
Yes.
That they're like, man, I could take that, and if I could self-analyze myself and go, move the needle. So if somebody wants to start exercising, and instead of jumping straight into, lifting, doing a bar bender, lifting 600 pounds, what do you recommend for somebody to start doing in order to move that needle just the slightest bit that will benefit them?
I mean, it could be as simple as, walking, as long as we're able-bodied, then we can walk. And it could be something as simple as going for a 5-minute walk after you eat every single time, or
Right.
you just pick 10 to 15 minutes going for a walk.
Right.
And if you have the thought of like, oh, hey, well, I'm not doing enough, I need to start at this level. Well, prove to yourself that you need to start at this level by starting at this level, and you just dominate day after day after day
Right.
after day. And then pretty soon you will be at the level that where you're supposed to start at, right?
Correct.
But if you think you need to start right here, but then let's say you do it for a week or a month, but then real life happens, you're going to fall off because you did not habitually do it right? You did not consistently build upon the process of being able to go from where it is that you currently are to where it is that you want to be. Mm-hmm. It takes time. There's really no bypassing the process, really. And if it ends up being too easy, then you will make progress rather quickly. Mm-hmm. But start off with the walking if you're not already doing that. But like, let's say you're already doing that, then progress it by either adding in another day or going a longer distance or a longer time.
Yes.
Or transition from walking to power walking, right? It could literally be gradual steps, incremental forms of progression. But that's what's going to bring you from right here to up here. You don't just take this big ass jump just to get to right here.
Right.
You got to incrementally get to right there if you're looking to do this forever. And that's another thing too. People set timelines, like, oh, hey, I'm going to start my diet. And then when they're done, oh, I'm not dieting right now. It's like, in reality, it's not about being on or off. It should be what it is that you just do. And you want to find the things that you can do sustainably to where it's just a means of like continuously building on where it is that you envision yourself, right? And you just got to find what is the least amount of work that's going to produce the majority of the results. Mm-hmm. There will always be 20% of tasks that is responsible for 80% of results. And the flip side, there's always going to be 80% of things that only determine 20% of the results. So pretty much just to give a simple answer, literally just by walking, dude, and that alone will create a natural form of progression if you're doing it right.
Right. Because it's so funny that you were saying that it's what you... Sometimes it's on social media. It's the things that you're also and putting into your mind and things that you're following and things that what you're doing. I think a lot of people will follow, like maybe they want to get better. Mm-hmm. Maybe they want to exercise, but you're following all these like people who are like, you see this high performance person who's got this major Instagram body, or a girl who's got this major Instagram body. They're known, they got a lot of followers because they just work out every day. Mm-hmm. But it's not, you don't immediately go into trying to get to that. It's also a commitment, like you said. Mm-hmm. It's a commitment of this is going to be what I want for the rest of my life. Yes. I'm not doing this to get to a certain point and then we're just going to fall off and maintain. Like,
I'm just done.
I'm done
now.
Like,
no.
I'm going to diet for a little, because if anything, you're almost pretty much shocking the body. And it's like it comes to a time where I personally feel like, in my own experience, is what I've done, is that it came to a point where it was like, all right, said, you want to keep, BSing and say that you're trying to do this, you're trying to eat right, or you know what, we're going to cut out sodas, but we're going to eat fried stuff. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're going to, it's like having like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yes.
You can't do that. You just can't. It had to be all in, because there's no working. It doesn't help that, you're busting your butt working out and then you go and eat fried stuff or stuff that's just not good for your body. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what a lot of people need to understand, is that, if you are going to take that commitment to go and you understand, because you're self-analyzing yourself. We're not saying that it betters the mind to exercise. So it's given that you're giving yourself that commitment of like, okay, hey, I want to get better. Let's start off by exercising. It's going to help out. It's going to help out the mind. And then from there, it's a full-on commitment of like, all right, because you'll naturally start seeing other things in your life that you need to change. It just happens that way.
Yes.
So one thing that I wanted to talk to you about. So speaking on diet, right? We'll talk about some diet stuff. What do you consider diet when you hear the word diet? What pops in your mind?
So there's two things. There's how I know how the general person sees it as like, a starting point and an ending point, right? To where it's like, okay, hey, typically it's to lose weight or to lose body fat, to change the way that you look. But then in reality, dieting is just the way that we eat. And if we have legitimate goals, right, it's not going to be a temporary thing. You need to find a way of eating that will produce the result that it is that you're looking for. And of course, there's numerous diets that you can follow. The one that works is going to be the one that you can do sustainably, the one that you can do pretty much forever. If you're following, let's say, the ketogenic diet, right? Because, I heard so-and-so lost weight doing it. Like, yeah, the reason why they lost weight is because they eliminated an entire macronutrient, the carbohydrates, and that put them in a caloric deficit. But if you don't know that, if you don't know what is producing weight loss, fat loss, then you're going to think like, oh, it's because I'm eating just nothing but fats. I'm eating like a little bit of protein. I'm eating no carbs. But in reality, if you can't do that forever, like especially Hispanics liking the rice, the beans, the tortillas, right? Then you would want to find another diet. You would want to find another method to produce the result that it is that you're looking for. And especially when it comes to changing the way that you look, it's always going to come down to, especially for most people, is like being in a calorie deficit, which simply put, it means that you're burning a lot more than you consume. And that's what's going to produce weight loss. I'm using this as an example because that's what most people want to do. But like, let's say you want to build, then same thing. You would want to follow something that you can do forever, right? And you would just want to make sure that like you're barely eating more than the amount that you burn. So that way, the weight that you're gaining, as long as adequate protein's involved, there's some sort of resistance training, you will build the muscle that it is that you're looking to build. But there's no such thing as like, oh, hey, this is the best diet or that's the best diet. The best one is the one that you can keep on doing, both on the days that you're feeling really great, but especially on the days when you're like, man, I don't feel like doing this shit. Oh, I'd rather eat this or that. But you need to look at those as opportunities to overcome that, because if you're always caving into how you feel, you're always caving into like, oh, I've been working hard when it's only been like a day, and then you need to cheat right away. If what you're doing is so good, you wouldn't feel the need to cheat. Right? That's how I see it. So but simply put, diet is simply going to be a way of eating. It's not like, oh, hey, I'm dieting right now or I'm not dieting right now. It's all going to be a way of eating. And if your goals are legitimate goals, how you eat is always going to be aligned with that, whether you feel like doing it or you don't feel like doing it.
I think diet is absolutely 100% all that as well. And I also think diet could also be what you intake, as in, because we touched up on it a little bit, what you intake as your mental.
Definitely.
You got to look into your life. I think it starts, if you want to realize you want to exercise, you got to start weeding out some of that stuff that is making you feel like that. Are things that are slowing you down? Are you hanging out with people who are eating like that all the time? I know you mentioned like Hispanic families, but not just Hispanic families. I know a lot of people that love tacos and stuff, bro. And it's great. And it's like, but sometimes what's good for you isn't, or what you think is good for you isn't good for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, diet isn't, I agree, it is all of that. And if you're trying to lose fat or gain or whatever, for me it was hard. I told you when we used to work out together, or I used to come to you, I was like, man, the hardest thing that I'm realizing, it's not the workouts, it's the eating for me, that I'm not used to eating that much. But it's like anything, like you were talking about incremental growth, it's the same thing for me. I'm just gonna have to 100 extra calories per, week or per meal, right? Just even if it's 25 or 50, but I'm moving that needle a little bit. But I believe personally that if you are wanting to get better in life or exercise or whatever it is, watch what you listen to, watch that diet, watch what you just can't accept everything, you know, not just in food, but in everything. No. Learn how to say no to, like, I'm not going to watch that TV show. Learn how to say, today I'm not going to watch TV. I'm going to go and read something that's going to benefit me, or I'm going to go have a talk with a family member that's going to help me out too, or I'm going to find, you know, and a lot of people don't want to hear about that diet. They don't want to look into their life and say, wow, these friends aren't helping me. I need to make an adjustment. Like, they're not doing what I'm wanting to get to. They're more or less hurting me with or in this case, the food that I'm intaking that's making me overweight or making me feel unhealthy. You got to look at your friends. You got to look at what you're listening to. You got to look at what you're following on social media. There's a whole entire diet that you have to take into consideration, because for you, I know just following you on Instagram that you're always journaling. You're always reading. Yes. You're always trying to help other people. You're not selfish. You're all about supporting someone. You're all about, you know, constantly, and you don't do it to be seen by people. I think right now, if y'all go right now, when you watch this, you can go follow him and you'll see he's got something going on. He literally, you know, I just watched it before you got here. I was watching you, that was like 57 minutes ago, and I hear a knock at my door, but I see 57 minutes ago, he was getting it, you know, and it's just like, but he's not doing it for himself. He is, but he's also doing it because you realize that in order to help society, you need to look at yourself first and help yourself, which in return helps out a lot of people. So it's all about your diet. You know, start looking at, you really got to analyze a lot in life, not just physically, but like it starts, I feel like personally, it starts mentally.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know, it's absolutely. Like, if you want to get your mental right, well, if you're listening to a bunch of rap music that's talking about stuff that you don't need to be hearing, you know, then you might need to stop listening to that music and find a different source. Yeah, if you're around a bunch of friends that are always wanting to go out every weekend, or they make fun of you because you are trying to get better, but then they clown on you for it, then it's like, well, do you really want those friends? Yeah. Are you in a comfort zone? Do they make you feel comfortable in some form or way? And now you need to iron out that diet. Yeah, you need to figure out that diet, figure out what is building you up in life and what is taking you away in life. And I see it so much. You know, I see a lot of people that are like, you know, they want to get better and they want to help themselves out, but it's just like, it's not just physical. You know, it's like, you know, you need to watch what you're doing. So
literally everything that you're consuming, man, like and the thing is, like, because think like mental food, right, what you're consuming in your brain, right, what we consume as far as like food goes, that can influence the way that we think. Just personally speaking, man, like the last time I had like sweets was for my birthday. I had a slice of chocolate cake, and immediately after eating that, like, I could feel myself feeling slowed down, sluggish. And then literally the next day, I started having these thoughts of like, basically it was like the bitch voice was screaming at me a lot louder, to where it's like, hey man, just chill today. You've been busting ass for over 75 days. You did 75 hard just now, because it was at that time whenever I had just finished it for this year. And like, dude, it's not a coincidence, because in 75 hard, you have to eat clean, right? You got to eat nutrient dense foods. And honestly, going through that period, the 75 days of like not eating like the stuff that I used to eat, right? The chips, the ice cream, the Pop-Tarts, the cookies, right? Because I got to eat a lot every single day, and it's hard to do it with just clean. But I've noticed that like by eating clean, like I'm thinking sharper, because I was already working out, I was already reading, I was already journaling. But what made the biggest difference was changing what I was consuming, because what I was consuming physically wasn't aligned with what it is that I saw myself wanting to do. But whenever I eliminated that, I saw the growth. And then when I had the slice of cake for my birthday, which most people, they'll think like, oh, hey, it's just one cake, it's no big deal. And it's like, yeah, but no. It can be a big deal, because for some people, especially if they're not mentally disciplined, all it takes is just that one piece of cake, that one cookie, that one chip for them to just be like, fuck it, whatever. It like They basically, it's like, oh, instead of having just a little bit of it, they enter fuck it mode basically. And then honestly, that's just a recipe for disaster. And whenever you keep on consuming these things and then it influences your way of thinking, then you're going to now seek to other sources that could be negative, as far as like what you're following on social media, or if you happen to be watching the news or whatever. And so like, not only are you not feeling good from what you ate, but now you have all these negative things, like basically you're consuming mentally. And it's only going to be a matter of time before that negativity transpires into a physical equivalent.
Yes.
You know, just because that's the way that it works, dude.
Yes.
What you put in is always going to be what you put out.
Exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. And it's like that. It's a lot of people don't like to think it, and they're like, you know, they think, and that's what makes it so hard, is like they're like, oh, well, no, I can control it. You know, I can still have, you know, my little cheat meal here or there and still follow this process. But like you said, it opens up a floodgate.
Yes.
It absolutely does. And people don't believe it. And they're like, no, there's no way you don't have a cheat meal. You really, it's like, it's not that I don't, it is that you don't want to have that cheat meal, but it's not that you're doing it because you're like trying to be prideful about like, no, I don't have cheat meals. I actually stick to it. Yes, I work out every day. Yes, I do all these things because I'm trying to be better than somebody. No, it's like, no, I understand what it's like because you're on that journey. And I've been on that journey too, that whenever you have that one little slight hiccup, it does open up a mean floodgate of like acceptance on everything being wrong. I agree 100% because, yeah, speaking personally, it's happened to me. And I've been on like a salad and chicken and rice only like diet lately of like, and I love it. I mean, the clarity it gives me. I don't get tired anymore. I used to get tired when I would eat something bad or something heavy. My thinking's better. I'm more clear. And then it's also going into like my workouts. It's going into my relationships. It's just wanting better for everything. It started with exercise, but it also more or less started with my eating. My eating is really the clean eating actually helped out with all of that. It really did, honestly, because if I was cheating on eating and not eating good things, then I wouldn't like care about exercising.
Yeah, man.
It would just be like, I could sacrifice a rep or two, you know. But now that I'm eating, it's like, no, I'm gonna eat this full salad and I'm gonna finish my food. And I think that's also a big thing too. Like, do you finish your meals? I think this is a funny thing, is that like what your habits, you could tell someone's habits based upon like what they're eating, how they eat. You don't even have to get to know the person. Like, you just ask them certain questions and you're like, oh, okay, that's how you perceive and treat life. Because I could tell, like, if you're willing to have a cheat meal, what else are you willing to cheat on? And
if you allow slack in one area, it's only a matter of time before slack is happened in another area.
Yeah, like, and that goes to your point of like your external is your internal. You know what you, or is it? Yeah, right. Is that you perceive it? Okay, yeah. So what's on the outside is what you can tell is on the inside, and it's like, well, yeah, I agree with that, because you know, once you start, if you exercise, so for me personally, right, when I exercise, it's like, okay, you go in with a plan and you're like, all right, even if you're not feeling it, and that's the hardest thing, is when you're not feeling it, dude. And because there's gonna be days like, you know, where it's just, you don't want to do it.
Don't feel like doing it.
You just don't feel like doing it.
That's part of the game.
But it's necessary.
Yes.
You know, it's necessary to go do that. And so what exercising does for me is like, okay, we have this workout set up. We have this many reps to hit on each one. We're now lifting this much. Let's get it, right? So I go after it, start with my first set, and I'm getting it. And it's like, okay, done. All right, next one. What's the next little workout? Okay, because I take your model on how you do about 3 or 4, you know, different. Well, with me, whenever we were doing it, you would have me do like rows or Russian rows, or then you'd have me do like an ab workout or whatever, specific to what I was telling you that I wanted to do. But it'd be like, it would be along those lines. But what it does for me is like, okay, next one. All right, push yourself. Next one. All right, push yourself. And as the workout goes, it gets harder and harder, but you got to keep pushing yourself, because you're there for, and you're constantly reminding yourself, this is why we're doing it. We're not doing it just to, not only just to look good, because that's what comes with it, but we're doing this for the mental. It's not just the physical. People, I think, have a misconception that people work out and exercise only for the physical. Like, I think that's just what comes with it naturally, because that's just how human bodies work. No, most people will do it for the mental. And if you look at them, they're mentally strong in everything in their life. They're mentally strong in their relationships. They're mentally strong in whatever work it is that they do. They're not going to quit. They're going to push forward. They're going to figure out through adversity, which will come. We talk about it all the time. Adversity is going to come, and you're just going to have to be like, you know what? I got to get through it.
Yeah.
I got to push up, because if you fall out, because like you even know, I've seen some of your posts and you're like, today wasn't a good day. I didn't lift like the ideal, or didn't get, like today you said something about I didn't get ideal sleep.
Yeah.
But I still have to get through it.
Yes.
And you naturally do. If you're doing all the exercises and eating correctly and what you're doing on a daily basis of like external, it just makes you who you are. You start handling stuff. You don't slack on any part of your life. And that's something I see with you.
Yeah,
I mean, I see that with you a lot. You handle your physical outer being is so reflectant to your mental. And in your mental, you're always on it. Like you're always trying to strive to do something better. You're always striving. You're even, and then it works, because if you look at your results of your people who, you know, that come to you and train with you, I mean, not only do they have physical results, but then go look at their Instagram. They're starting to post more.
Yeah.
They're starting to be more out there. The mental changes.
Yeah, man.
And they weren't like that prior to. Maybe they were a little bit, but they weren't like how they are now. They've
leveled up.
They've leveled up.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping happens here, and will happen here. Actually, it's going to happen. If you hear what we're saying and you take it into account of yourself, it's going to work.
Yes.
Give it time. Start with walking, right? If that's what it is, see if you can even walk. Maybe even do some push-ups. You know, maybe do some crunches before you go purchase that gym membership. Do all of that, because test yourself.
Yes.
See if, can I even do this?
Prove
And
to
it sounds
yourself.
funny. It sounds funny, right? Like, dude, they're talking about walking.
Yeah.
Like, I could walk. Can you?
It's like
can
you
you?
can, but will you?
There you go.
It's
Yeah.
like you
Will
can do it, but will you do it?
Will you go do it? Because let's see it.
Yeah.
Just go walk, and then let's see if you can start with the power walking, and then a light jog, and then you're like, you don't have, like you said, you don't have to go run a marathon, but can you do the habits and watch? I challenge you, watch. It naturally will start. You'll start seeing it in every aspect of your life. You'll start seeing things that you didn't see before, and it starts with, I believe, truly, with your exercising.
Yeah, dude. Because I mean, the body and the mind, they're inseparable, dude.
Yes.
And like the thing is, life is always going to, it's always going to give us, you know, resistance. You know, we're always going to have stresses. But if you don't train to handle stress, then you're going to think every little form of stress, it could be a little bit amount. But if you've never practiced to handle the little bit amount, this little bit amount now becomes this big ass giant for you, and it's going to crush you, you know. But if you train to handle adversity, train to overcome basically not feeling comfortable, then whenever life happens, because you already have that training in, you will be able to handle it a lot better compared to somebody who's not putting in the work. And again, it's not to say that like, oh, you need to train exactly like how I do, you know, bending bars or whatever.
Yeah.
But you still need to make sure that you're doing something that sucks for you, something that's challenging for you. So like if walking regularly, like outside of like, oh, getting up from the couch or getting up to get in your car, drive to work, whatever, if you're not doing that regularly, then you haven't proven to yourself that you will do it. Like, yeah, you can, but will you do it? And if you haven't proven that, then of course you're not going to have the self-belief and the self-confidence to know that you for sure will do it.
Right.
It's like as if, you know, think if somebody tells you like, oh, hey man, I'm gonna come through at this time and this day, but then they flake out and then they call you, oh, hey, I was going to, but insert excuse, and then y'all reschedule.
Yeah.
Same thing happens.
Yeah.
Eventually you're not gonna trust that person, and the same thing happens with ourselves. When we say we're gonna do something, but we break that promise we make to ourselves, then we can't help but feel crappy. We can't help but lose trust in ourselves, lose belief and confidence in ourselves. But literally, that's a mental thing. Yeah, the activity involved is physical, but what it does for the mind is powerful, both in a positive manner and a negative manner, right? So literally, dude, like you cannot separate the mind from the body. Like if you want to change the way that you think, it can help to change what it is that you're doing with your body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And because I know you know him, David Goggins, he talks about you kill the mind or you kill the body, the mind will follow.
Yes.
Like it's just, it'll get there. Just keep doing it. And you got to beat your mind every day because it's going to tell you everything in the world to like, bro, stop it. Like you said, you know, it was after cause you were talking about the 75 hard. And I want to get to that one in a little bit because I'm having my own struggle with the 75 hard. Right. So, and then that's not my next goal. That's going to be on my list for next year to be, hey, 75 hard, you know, I'm going to get that. But absolutely it does. If it just goes like, am I going to get up and go work out today? Am I going to go do what I'm telling myself I'm going to go do? And if you don't, it does trickle into your life that, hey, when you tell somebody you're going to show up on time and you don't, and it just naturally, it's just funny how, isn't it just funny how it just works? Like, it's like, because we're talking about the Matrix. We're talking about like, there's a code to this game called life.
Yes.
There, it is. It's like
cheat codes.
It's cheat codes, bro. and it's just so funny because, you know, speaking from, you know, just in a devil's aspect, you know, in that way, I've noticed that when he starts talking to me, it's because stuff needs to get done and you should probably go do that thing.
Yes.
If it's telling you like, hey, quit, cut it out. You're facing too much adversity right now. Stop it. You can't handle it. Oh no, bro. Push
Just
through.
take it easy, man.
Yeah, just take it easy.
You're working too hard.
Yeah.
Live a little.
But not only that, then he'll put it into other people to come tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to watch out for that too. That's what I'm saying. Watch who you surround yourself with. And then also, because most people are just telling you what they think about themselves. It's just it's an inner reflection of what they think that they're capable of. And, you know, if they think that if they can't do it, then they'll put it on you. Like, oh, no, don't you think you're working out too much? If that were me working out that much, I probably couldn't do it. And that's what they're really saying. Not that you're working out, you know, too much. Like I said, there's a cheat code to this life. You know, we were having, just to be quite frank, we were having technical issues with what was going on here. And it would have been so easy for me to be like, hey, Chris, you know what? Can you just come back, you know, tomorrow? Or can you come back, you know, can we reschedule for whatever? But you and I understand that adversities struggle and somebody is going to need to hear what we're talking about and it's going to be beneficial. And we're just going to have to push through. And I appreciate your patience on that because it's just what comes with the territory. It's not, everything's just not going to work out perfectly like you have to. Honestly, I can't tell you the last time I had a perfect day where everything just went really good. Everything went absolutely 100% good. It was always something that I had to deal with, especially recently. And it's just so funny that recently that the more I try to do, the more harder things get.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like, bro, just stop. Like, you know, you're not patient. You're not none of this. Like, why are you even trying? Who are you fooling? And it's like, nah, bro. You're trying to fool me. Whatever that thought, it's a battle against yourself every single day. And if you we keep talking about it, it's the same like theme is that exercise helps with that because you're gonna face adversity every single time you exercise.
Yeah.
Something's gonna tell you no, don't do it, and that self-help cheat code of exercising is gonna just trickle into everything and make everything work out in the way it needs to.
Yeah, dude, because adversity, they're opportunities. They're opportunities to overcome, and the ability to overcome is a skill. And just like any skill, the only way that it's going to get better is if you're actually spending time doing the things that will for sure produce the result of it literally elevating, right? Because if you don't practice overcoming, then every little thing is going to overcome you. Every little thing is going to beat you. But that's why it's like, hey, if you schedule your own suffering, if you schedule your own suck, so to speak, then, dude, like, nothing that just comes up out of nowhere is going to be shit to you because it's like, oh, well, I recognize in my training that I was able to push an extra 3 reps when I thought I was done.
I love that.
Because, again, you don't really know until you know. But the only way you're going to trust yourself in being able to handle things that you're unsure of is going to be your previous training. And that's the powerful thing of training, you know, like with your body, you know. And again, it doesn't have to be lifting weights. That's one simple way to go about it because, I mean, once you lifted a certain amount of weight, you just add 2.5s on each side, 5 pounds, right? And then it sucks all over again. And then you get better and better and better. And then boom, progress again. It sucks again, better, better, better. And you just keep on repeating that.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing that regularly, then life is just going to keep on knocking you down. You know, as soon as it knocks you down, you're trying to get back up. It's going to punch you in the jaw and then you're knocked down again. Whereas if you practice overcoming adversity, you're going to be able to take those hits and keep on going, because that's what it's all about. It's not like, oh, hey, I need to build myself to where I don't get hit at all. It's like, dude, like that's ideal. The ideal is not real. You need to train yourself to be able to handle those hits. So that way nothing breaks you. And it's not to say that like, oh, hey, I don't have my days where it's like I'm feeling down. We all have those days.
Yeah.
We all have valleys and mountains, dude. That's just part of the game. But it's what you habitually do. Like, do you habitually cave into how you feel? Like, oh, I don't feel like training, so I'm not going to. Or do you just do it anyways, regardless on how you feel? Like, oh, hey, I feel great. Cool, I'm going to train. Oh, I feel like crap. Oh, well, I'm going to train anyways. You know, because you could either operate your life on how you feel, or you can operate your life on how it is that you're supposed to live based on the character that you're supposed to build yourself into becoming, so that way you can be who it is that you're supposed to be. So that way you're actually taking steps forward in your purpose.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. One thing that you just said right now that's resonating with me is the schedule your own suffering, because life is going to make you suffer.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to make
inevitably,
bro.
Yeah.
Especially if you're growing in life like we are, it's going to make you suffer. So if we schedule our own our own suffering, then when life does come, it's like life. I make myself suffer, bro. So what you have to throw at me, it has nothing to do with me, bro.
That's
like,
it? All right, I'm gonna handle it.
Let's handle that. Yeah, I love that. I think that that's something we should, make yourself do those things that you don't like to do, and naturally when life comes at you, it won't seem so hard, because it's like, bro, I put myself in the fire every day. That's one thing that I loved. I heard the other day is that I talk about it, is that in medieval times, right? Follow me. In medieval times, they had a smith, right? The blacksmith, right? And you go to the blacksmith because you wanted to have a sword. They just basically take whatever, right? And it's like all ugly, it's all screwed up, and we are. And that's maybe how you feel, metaphorically speaking. You may feel like, you're not formed yet, you're not whatever. And we may be the blacksmiths that's going to help you out. So what it is that you're your own blacksmith, and you have to realize, okay, I have this weapon, but I don't know that I have this weapon. But dude, you have a beautiful weapon, and the weapon is up here, right? So what you need to do is, how do you create a sword? Well, back then they used to put it in the fire, and they'd get it molten hot. It turned a different from what, gray or black, whatever the color it is, to hot burning yellow, and then they'd get it and they beat it and beat it, and then they'd put it back in. And then they beat it and beat it and beat it and beat it and put it back in. They keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until they got and formed the blacksmith. Until he formed this beautiful sword for whoever it was that wanted it, right? So with that being said, that's pretty much what we're doing. Is that we realized, we're already in our walk about beating ourselves, but we're realizing that you have to put yourself in the fire. You can't run from these things. If you're going to go into a fight of life, which we all are, we're all in this fight of life. But if you're not putting yourself in that fire, taking yourself out of that uncomfortability, which is what it is, or in that comfortable state that you're in, and putting yourself into uncomfortable positions, which is also putting yourself into the fire, you're not molding yourself. You're not beating yourself. And that's what you have to do. You have to beat that mindset of no, I'm just content, I'm doing all right, I don't want to, I'm gonna eat a certain diet until I get to this physique, and then stop. It's like, no, brother, once you start that journey, it just keeps going. You can't stop it, you can't revert. You can, and it will, but it's up to you. It's up to you to take that responsibility. But what I suggest is that you put yourself in that fire. And then for you and for people who are a little bit more already into it, when you use that sword and you got it looking pretty good, which we look pretty decent, and you go use it, it gets a little dull. And you use it over and over, it gets a little dull. So what you need to go do is check yourself, put yourself back into that fire, and then just keep pounding yourself and beating it and getting you got the sword, and you keep doing it. And it's just a constant life, always checking yourself. Hey, do I need to put myself into a different situation? Am I plateauing? I remember you talked about plateauing. You just posted a YouTube video about that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, are you plateauing? And if you are, then you need to figure out the fire, figure out what you're avoiding in life, and put yourself in that position and face those fears.
Yes.
Because that's the only way you're going to get out of that unstuck life that you feel like you're in. Yeah, I mean, that's just pretty much the theme of what, was going on here.
Yeah, dude, it's literally, I mean, the sword analogy is perfect, dude. It's like not just creating the sword, right? There's that process.
Right.
But then once the sword is made and
Right.
you keep on using it over time, it's going to get dull.
Absolutely,
Right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you can't expect that dull blade to do what the sharp blade did. But what do? You sharpen the sword, right? I believe the term was like a whetstone or wheatstone. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but that's how you would sharpen a sword. In order for us to sharpen our sword, we got to make sure that what we're putting in is actually going to sharpen it, right? You can't just use, I don't know, like a piece of paper and think you can sharpen a sword that way. It takes
Right.
us a specific material to make that sword sharp. Same thing with our brains. It's going to take specific information that we need at our given season, at our given time, so that way
Yes.
we can actually be to the degree of sharpness that we need to be it,
Yeah.
based upon what it is that we're facing.
Yeah,
And
in your season. Absolutely. That's absolutely where we all go through seasons. And everybody's in a different season. But sometimes it's like, man, you're always constantly analyzing yourself. You have to be. If you're in this world and you're not doing it and you don't feel good about yourself or anything, dude, start with exercise, and it's going to get there. But like, it's just like we are and should always constantly be trying to grow our relationships, grow within ourselves, and it starts with yourself. Don't be going after everybody else, pointing fingers. No, let's start with yourself, and then it naturally starts trickling into everyone else, and that's the cheat code too. That's right.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely, dude.
yeah.
Because it's like if you take care of the mind, everything else will follow.
Yeah.
It's like you're putting on this little code, like it feels like Grand Theft Auto or whatever, right? But you're just doing the things that are gonna make you better, and then everything that has to do with that better version of yourself will be attracted to you. Because think about it, if you're going around chasing money, chasing this and that, over time, you're gonna get tired. You're
Yes.
gonna eventually have to stop. You're gonna have to take a break. Whereas if you build yourself to be an individual that attracts all those things that you desire, then now it's just coming to you, and it seems like almost seamless. And that can be a reflection or an indication rather that like, hey, you're doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. If growth is happening after you go through your suck, after you go through your scheduled suffering, and things are getting better, right? Not just physically or mentally, but financially, literally in all areas, then that should let you know that like, hey, you're supposed to be doing this. And like, let's say you do that and you do it for a while and then things cease, right? Then that lets you know that it's like, hey, you already beat this level. Just like in the game, right? Going back to cheat codes. You gotta play on the next level. And guess what? When you level up, things are gonna be hard all over again. But you just beat that level and then bloop, level up again.
Straight up.
Beat that level, bloop, level up again, right? But like literally, that's how it works, man. But it's like, if I want to stay at level 3 because I'm just comfortable there, then you're holding yourself back, dude. And whenever you stop growing, you're already regressing. There's no such thing as like, oh, it's cool, I'm chilling, I'm staying the same. It's like, nah, dude. If you think you're staying the same, you're actually regressing. Like, it's going to happen. It's already happening.
Yeah. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yes.
That's
yes,
absolutely true. And you could not just hear, but I mean, you listen to it all the time. The cheat code's all around us. If you listen to a lot of people, they always say, this is this is that. This is how it is. This is just what you commit. You go all in. You do this. This is what's going to happen. It's around you. Yeah. We just choose not to listen. I think a lot of people just feel like that they're not worthy enough. Yeah. And it starts mentally. And it's sad. It's like, no, and I hope y'all hear it. Y'all are worthy enough. Yes, you are worthy. Everybody is. You are worthy to have a healthy lifestyle and a healthy mind. And just because your family may or may not be in that lifestyle, we'll start it with you. And watch how they start doing it too. Hopefully. Hopefully they're not that stubborn, but and some of them, can be. So one thing I want to ask you, because you've done it a lot and I'm struggling with it. I've tried it 3 times. No, once. I've tried it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Twice. First time I got to 32 days.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time I got to, I think, 56. But I went on a vacation. And I compromised, bro. The reason why I believe that you and I could talk about it in such a passive way, like not passive, passionate way, is because we've done it before and we've gone through it and you failed. It's not like a perfect trial the whole time, you know. It's like you drew it once and you fell, and then you do it again, you learn, but you got to constantly put yourself in it to learn, because otherwise, if you're not experiencing it, then you don't know how to figure out what you're doing wrong to fix things, right? So 75 hard. Explain what that is, because you've mentioned it and it's killing me, bro. And I know we've talked about it of like, hey man, it's not easy.
Nah, not at all, dude.
So what's the 75 hard, and how many times have you done it? And if you could give me your experience mentally, what you're going through during it and things like that.
Yeah, man. So 75 hard is Andy Frisella's mental toughness program. It's not a challenge. It is a program, right? Challenges is just like, oh, I'm doing this for social media. Programs, they're designed to produce a specific result, and this is meant to build mental toughness. And what is mental toughness? The ability to have grit, right? The ability to endure, the ability to persevere, the ability to have self-belief, self-confidence. All these things will make you a more mentally tough person, a more resilient person. So that's what the program is designed to do. It's going to produce that result as long as you do everything to the degree that it asks you. No changing things, no compromise, and you just make it happen. And I would say that what really helped me get through it is putting it in my mind that I'm going to do it. Because like if you try it, then failure is now a lot likely to happen. It's not to say that like, oh, if you say you're going to try it, then you automatically fail. But you give yourself a bigger edge if you tell yourself like, hey, I'm going to do this. Like no matter what comes up, no matter what circumstances may arise, because I mean, that's what the program is meant to teach you, is like, because anybody could do that program if, like, let's say they quit their job, they quit all the relationships, and they just focus in on 75 days of getting all the tasks done. Anybody could do that. The challenge is doing it while still living your life, while still having Thanksgiving or going to Christmas or going on vacations, right? So putting it in your mind that you're going to do it is a big thing that really helped me out. Of course, I've done 75 hard twice. I first did it back in 2020. First time going into it, the only challenge as far as the workouts go was doing a second workout every single day, no matter what. Whether it's raining outside, whether you feel like doing it or not, whether you're tired, because you're going to be physically tired and mentally tired, right? But the point is to be able to still get things done even under those states, because if you can overcome when things are not ideal, then the few times when life is ideal, you're going to be freaking just blowing up. You're going to be really pretty much skyrocketing, dude. So going through it the first time, like I said, the hard part as far as the workouts go was mainly the second workout every single day. The reading 10 pages every single day, it wasn't too much of a challenge for me just because I was already doing that regularly. Yeah. But if you're somebody that's not used to reading a book, not an audio book, but actually reading, then that's going to challenge you, but you're going to get better, right? Just to make like a little side note, the reason why I pretty much started that program was because like back in 2018, I wasn't reading. And I remember that we were out in Colorado and we were playing Cards Against Humanity. And I wasn't stuttering or anything, but I noticed it was hard for me to read, like literally read out loud. I was having to try. And I knew that like I had to do something about it. And of course, like I began reading that year. And of course, 2019, I was reading, but it wasn't like a regular thing. It wasn't until I did that program where the skill of reading got better. Doing something that I used to suck at got better. Like it used to be where I couldn't read if there was anybody else in the room with me. They could be quiet, but that would be distracting to me.
Wow.
Now I can actually read where people are having conversations around me, but I'm able to really focus in.
Wow.
Why? Because I just put in the time and just kept on doing it. Still thinking about the first time while I'm running through it. I had failed twice running through it, and I forgot the progress picture. And that let me know that, like, hey, dude, something as simple as taking a picture, right? But it lets you know that, like, if you can't do the small things right, then it's only a matter of time before the big things fall. And that's what that part of the program teaches you. Is like, hey, the little details matter. You can only have the big wins if you're stacking small wins, right? You don't just get big win after big win after big win. Chances are you were doing small wins, even if you weren't aware of them, that led to those big wins.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. And another part when it comes to the first time where I was running through it, I noticed that, like, I wouldn't say that, like, I've always been a confident person. Like, yeah, the way that I look played a role in that.
Yeah.
But running through it the first time, like, my confidence skyrocketed because I was doing shit that nobody else was doing. I was out in the rain. It's pouring. Clothes are soaked once you're out there for 5 seconds, and you got to do it for 45 minutes.
You even messed up your phone trying to record.
I messed up my phone,
Yeah.
dude, because I was just like, hey, man, I'm down, whatever. I ended up getting a new phone.
I remember you were like, hey, by the way, don't do this with your phone
Yeah.
or whatever.
Phone's all messed up now.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. So like, that really built my confidence to, like, it leveled it up exponentially, man. And it was just from doing things that I didn't think I could do, and it was also doing things that made me uncomfortable every single day, no matter what. Yeah. Also, the first time that I ran through 75 hard, dude, it was the day before my birthday, so I think I was like on day 70. My dog of 10 years passed away, man, and that was hard. And I saw him die, dude. He was literally like right in my arms, and it was hard. I mean, I did everything that day, but the next day it was my birthday, and I didn't feel like doing anything, dude. Like, I was mourning, you know, but I was just at the point where I was just like, can't listen to how I feel, just got to get it done. And I got it done, but that was really hard, man, because I mean, dude, like, I see dogs as like members of the family, man, and that's like no different than like a family member passing away right in my arms.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that was really hard. But going through that, I mean, it definitely plays a role in who I am today, for sure, you know. And like, no, I mean, after going through it, like, yeah, I had a reflection on, like, oh, maybe I should have done this more with Cloud or that more. But at the end of the day, it showed me that, like, hey, man, like, we never know until we know, and we got to really make the most out of every single day, because shit, man, things can go south right away at the snap of a finger. But it's not to say that, like, when things go south that you got to stop doing everything. And this is easier said than done, don't get me wrong, but it takes a certain character to be able to keep doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, no matter how you're feeling, no matter how much your heart is hurting, dude.
Yeah.
So, like, I would say that was probably like the biggest thing that I got out of 75 hard the first time, was like still being able to get the program done, even having a death happen literally when I'm 5 days out from finishing the 75 hard program.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, that was
I'm sorry.
didn't expect it, dude.
Sorry to hear about your dog, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
that
Yeah,
hurts,
like,
yeah.
honestly, man, still thinking about him now is like, it's not like, oh, well, yeah, he's in a better place. Like, it still hurts, man. It still does, you know. But I mean, hey, we all go through hard things for a reason. It's to make us who it is that we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
The only way the things that have been put within us can be unlocked is by going through the necessary processes that will begin the cultivation process of that happening.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the way that it works.
Yeah.
So that was like the first time running through it, man. Last year, I went through it again, but I didn't complete the program. I think I got to, I know I was over 30 days. I want to say I got to about maybe day 40, 45. And it started affecting, like, my relationship. with my fiance. She was my girlfriend at the time, but like it was just getting to the point where it's like I allowed me focusing on that to neglect the relationship. Like I basically was not present. It's like, yeah, we were hanging out, but whenever I was hanging out, we're like with her, it's like I wasn't even really there because I didn't keep in mind that like, hey, like do not allow you getting better to mess up everything else. It's like you got to be able to get yourself better while still building onto the other important aspects of your life. Right, but I didn't complete it last year.
But that doesn't happen unless you go through that, bro.
Yes, exactly.
That doesn't happen unless you go through that. And I'm glad it happened early.
Yeah.
So that it didn't happen later.
Yeah, exactly,
you know
dude. Because if it didn't happen then, and we didn't address things then and correct it then later down the line it would have been a lot worse. Like no doubt, dude. No doubt. So, which I mean. It all worked out. I mean, everything always works out at the end of the day.
Even though it doesn't seem like it at the time.
Yes. No matter how dark things may seem, no matter how much shit has hit the fan, things will eventually work out as long as you do not quit, as long as you do not give up. But again, that's easier said than done. You just gotta, that's where, again, going back to training, if you train yourself to overcome adversity on a regular basis, the times when big adversity comes, you'll be able to handle it a lot better because you equipped yourself to handle it. But if you don't train to do that, then, dude, like the things that seem big, they're gonna seem gigantic. It's not to say that they're not significant, but you're gonna magnify the problem. But in reality, it's not as big as you think. You just were not equipped to handle it.
Yeah, I agree. So a few key things that you said that I love about your first trial with 75 Hard is that one, you were committed before you started, right? That's something that I wasn't when I started the first 75 Hard. And I realized that with doing it and then starting the second one, as I was on like passing day 45, I was like, holy shit. Because I told myself, all right, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it. And now I know like, okay, well, you made that commitment. And now it's like, bro, this next time that I start there's no...
It's going to get done, dude.
It's going to get done. Yeah, thank you for that. Because it is going to get done. And that's how it starts. It's like, no, it's going to get done without compromise. Just like how when you texted me, you're like, hey, I'm going to be here at 3:30. And I was like, you sure, man? You let me know. No, I'm going to be there at 3:30 without compromise. Yes. And I love that. I was like, that's just such classic Chris, man.
I messaged you at 3:29. I'm here.
You did. Knock on my door at 3:30, dude. It's just so funny, right? So it's just like, I love that. You're committed prior to, and then that's what gets you through. And then also the adversity that you went through is going to help you out, the two major adversities that you went through. Is going to help you out later on in life. And that's what you're doing. You're just preparing. Like you said, it's not a challenge. It's a program. I'm not sure if we even ran through exactly what the 75 Hard is, but the 75 Hard is you go 75 days in a row. You get 2 workouts. One workout has to be outside, correct?
45 minutes.
45-minute workouts.
At least. Both
of them at least 45 minutes, which is funny because once you get going in it, it's like the 45 minutes at first seem long, but then as you get into like day 30 into the 40s, it's like, wow, that's actually pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then you also have to follow a diet. That's all it says is follow a diet. And we talked about diet earlier. That's kind of like according to whatever calorie intake or whatever you're trying to do. I don't know about macros or calories very much, but if you do know about that or whatever, follow a diet. And then it's read at least 10 pages. And then it is drink a gallon of water, which is so essential. So many people, I remember whenever I was working out with you, and I still do it to this day, drinking a whole gallon a day. If you work out, it replenishes your body and your muscles so much. You pee a lot, but man, is it awesome.
Yeah, dude, it makes a big difference.
The water, and everybody's like, gosh, a gallon a day. Don't you know that water can kill you if you drink too much? And it's like, nah, bro. I actually got up to like almost 2 gallons a day and I was still feeling thirsty. Some people don't even go drinking a glass of water for like a day and a half. They'll drink a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
But they
and then their piss looks like Dr. Pepper.
And it does.
Yeah,
and
man.
It probably smells and it's just horrible. But think about what you're putting in your body and then you're wondering, why am I not mentally focused today? Why am I tired? Why do I feel sluggish? Well, it's like, dude, start looking around.
You could be dehydrated.
Look in your body. Like, look at what you're intaking. So with that 75 Hard, man, it is a good program to get you to realize some things about yourself. Mine was the picture too.
Mm-hmm.
I have an insecurity because I deal with acne, right? Not anymore, which is freaking crazy because I started eating healthy, doing the chia seeds, eating sunflower seeds, and eating they're all not almonds, they're I'm forgetting. They're cashews. Mm-hmm. Eating cashews. Cashews help out with acne. I had no idea. I have a lot of testosterone. Apparently, I took a test and it's like, you got a lot. You got enough to give some away and still have some above average. I was like, damn, okay, cool.
Sweet.
Good to know. I'm set for life.
Yeah, I'm good.
You know, so good deal. But it was like, it's like, okay, I keep having these breakouts and stuff. Why? It's like, well, you drink Sprite, you eat fried foods. Let's just say, if you weed all that out, let's just see what happens. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
You've been going so hard doing it. Why not? And so I've been doing salads. I've been doing the seeds and stuff like that and all this other things. Dude, my skin within the past month have cleared up. And it is insane. And now I'm a big advocate for it. You saw me when you came in. I was like, bro, you don't need this. You need that. Because the cleanness helped me not only mentally, but it's just making me feel good in so many ways. So I wouldn't post my progress picture from the 75 hard because I was insecure. And that's one thing that it was helping me also with was like, hey, don't be insecure about yourself. Like, don't be, and it's not for everyone to see. It's just you're doing the program to break some of these things about you that it's making you realize. You know, even the reading, I wasn't reading that much and I needed to be reading. And it's not only like that, but it's like, what are you reading? You know, so are you reading something that's really benefiting you? Are you reading something that's not benefiting you? Like, so it's a beautiful program to get into if you want to try it. 75 hard.
Literally it will change your life. It's literally changed my life, man.
Right. And if you fail it, just try it again. Just keep. It does say it. If you forget any of these things, start over. Yeah. So, you know, and what I love is that if and we'll get to it at the end. Chris is posting a 30-day trial one. Right, you're doing the 30-day one. What's that about? Because
that's a Live Hard program.
Okay, so what's that? Because it almost looks similar to the 75 hard.
So pretty much the way Andy set it up is 75 hard is one part of a 4-part program. So there's 75 hard, and then the 3 phases that make up the Live Hard program. That's basically, think 75 hard is like the boot camp. That's how Andy describes it. And then you got phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 2 is literally the same exact tasks as 75 hard, but it's for 30 days. But the thing is, you got to wait at least 30 days after you finish phase 1 prior to starting it to prove to yourself like how much discipline change has actually taken place. Because if you actually did the program correctly, then you'll be able to do it. But if you didn't, then you won't. Like, so it kind of like, it's like a weed out system kind of deal, right? And I decided to go with the Live Hard program. Honestly, man, I just felt called to do it, man, because I did 75 hard back in 2020. I failed last year, 2021, and even this was even before I finished 75 hard this year. It's just like woke up out of nowhere and just felt it like on my spirit to do the Live Hard program. It's like, hey, man, where it is that you're supposed to go, you need to build yourself to be the person that can handle those things. But if I didn't do that, or if I was not doing it right now, then there's no way that I can know for sure that I'll be able to handle what I'm supposed to handle.
Right.
You know, and like I've just been doing it, and the fact that my life has improved, like literally in all areas, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, literally everything has gotten better from doing the program. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is like this seamless forms of progression is happening because I truly believe that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I'm building myself into who it is that I'm supposed to be built into, right? This thought just came into my head. We forgot to mention that there's no cheat meals and no alcohol involved in the 75 hard program.
You. Do you drink?
Nah, dude. Like last time I drank was 2018. Long story short, I only had like half a beer in Colorado. I don't know if it was the altitude, but I was messed up, dude. 2018, man. So I haven't drank in like 4 years. And
really?
Like honestly, man,
do you
like
smoke?
yeah, I still do. But honestly, man, what made me stop drinking is like I noticed that is the one thing that I've ever done in my life, and like I'm more than willing to share like all the things I've done in my life. That is the one thing where I felt like it literally made me regress the most. Is the one thing in my life to where is like I lose control, right? And I don't like that. And
Yeah.
like we could look at it as a discipline thing, but what I've learned about alcohol recently is literally what it does. It disrupts the prefrontal cortex, and what that portion of our brain is responsible for planning, thinking, and impulse and emotional control. And I noticed that those things suffered whenever I was drinking regularly.
One more
whenever I was partying.
time for the people in the back. It suffers. It's a prefrontal what is it?
The prefrontal cortex, that's
Okay.
one portion of the brain.
And it controls the
Planning, thinking, impulse control, and emotional control. That's why when people drink, they get confident and they get louder. And it's not that. It's like they're just not aware of their overall volume. The reason why they make poor choices is because their ability to think critically is diminished. Typically, people will eat whatever they want whenever they're drunk because they have poor impulse control. Another thing, people blow up and get angry whenever they're drunk because they don't have emotional control. That is the one thing that I've ever consumed in my life that I noticed it took that much of a toll on me just from doing it one night. And then not only that, but then the next day you're having to recover from all that shit too, man.
feel so dehydrated,
And
bro.
it's like
it's
it's
not
not
funny.
worth it, dude.
It's
It's
not worth
not
it.
worth it to me. It's like, what? So I can feel confident? Bitch, I'm already confident. Like that shit ain't real confidence, man.
It's not.
Like, especially when you're legitimately confident, you can realize how much of a mask that is. You know, so
It is
yeah,
a
dude.
mask.
Yeah.
I agree. So I've been 9 months sober on alcohol. Thank you, dude.
Nice.
It wasn't very hard. The smoking vape was hard, nicotine. But yeah, alcohol is everything. You just said it. I mean, you said it best. It does all that. You feel dehydrated, and it got to the points where I was just like, all right, maybe I could have one beer. Maybe I could have 2 beers. But then it was like, no, dude. If I have 1 beer, I still feel like I drank like 6.
Same.
I feel dehydrated.
Same,
I feel
dude.
horrible. I could feel it immediately mess up my brain. I could feel it. Like how you felt with that chocolate cake that you ate. The same feeling. I felt that. And so what I do now is that when I feel those feelings, like when I used to drink or when I used to smoke, that immediate like shameful feeling, I stop doing it. I don't want to do it. I don't know. It's just something in me that's starting to grow, and I think it's another cheat code coming in life that I'm being open to, where it's like, bro, that stuff ain't for you. I think it was illegal at a certain point for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, and now it's funny that, you know, weed is illegal because it's like, well, that they realized that was good for you. And they realized, wow, it's actually probably helping out a lot of people. Let's make it illegal. And then let's make alcohol legal because we thought that was good for people. Now it's actually bad. So let's just make it legal for everybody and put a stand up on, you know, every single, you know, corner. And then that's also now on Sundays, you can get it at 10:30 in the morning and not or 10 in the morning instead of 12 o'clock. And then we're just going to, you know, now let's lower the age rate or whatever. It's just going to keep doing it because they realize the government realizes what it does to us.
You're more easily controlled.
You're
more easily controlled, man.
Yeah, and you're willing to, when stuff gets hard, it's easier to go open up a bottle than it is to go work out.
Yeah.
It's easier. And you don't, but when you need to go work, like that's what I was saying earlier, stuff that's good for you, you think that's good for you, that's helping you, is probably not good for you. It's the stuff that's hard that you don't want to accept, that you don't want to do. That's good for you. That's what you should be doing. You should be running to what you don't like to do versus what you do like to do or what the norm is. But then again, it's about family. It's about friends. It's about, do they consume? Do they do it? It doesn't mean like if someone drinks, you shouldn't hang out with them. But it's like, hey, be aware, you know, because those temptations are going to be there. There are certain things that are going to, you know, lie within you.
You got to be aware of what slows you down individually.
There you
like,
go.
I'm not
That's
saying
it.
like, oh,
But
hey.
I believe alcohol slows everybody down,
Same.
no matter who you are.
Same.
I don't care. Like, and
Same.
it's just straight up. You can say that, oh, I just have 1 or I have 2 or I don't drink often. But it's like, nah, bro, because I hate when people say that. I hate when people say, well, I don't do it often. You know, I do it every now and then. Well, it's like, well, do you cheat on your partner every now and then?
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, but
Right.
I don't do it I only do it once a year, but
like-
you still cheat.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I only drink. It ruins your life. It honestly does, because it causes you to compromise in other areas of your life. When stuff gets hard, you're just going to run to that. And so for you, like with your 75 hard, when your dog passed, is like you dealt with it by dealing with it. You went and ran towards the pain, and you kept working out. You stayed on the mission. You moved forward. That is just going to be, like Goggins says, that's going to be your cookie jar, bro. You're going to dip into that mug whenever any other trials come, and they are going to come. Like we said, it's inevitable. It's just when they come, are we equipped with our own suffering that we've put ourselves in, our daily suffering, that when life gives us suffering, we're ready for it. In a sense of like you said, it's not magnified, but now it's simplified in a way of like, okay, I've understand how to somewhat have a grasp on adversity and trials, and this is how we are going to, from what I've learned from my own suffering, how we're going to get through it. And it's not going to be from running to the bar. It's not going to be running to go to drown yourself with food, because some people do that, whether they believe it or not. They go run and they have a dessert problem, or they have like a fast food problem or something. They're going to go overindulge and overeat. You're going to deal with it based upon the practices that we do in our natural everyday lives. Right?
Yeah, dude. It's like, I mean, that's what vices are. It's going to literally be anything that's going to be pretty much counterintuitive to what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And like exactly like what you're saying, I 100% agree that alcohol affects everybody negatively, right? But like it being such a accepted norm of society, I say that with air quotations because it's what you truly believe, right? Because I mean, we've just been indoctrinated to believe that. It's like it's not true. But like
show me a study.
Yeah, exactly.
Show
it's
me
like
a study.
there's no benefits to it,
yeah,
man.
show me a study where it's like actually it helped this person out.
It's like it fogs you up, but when you're fogged up, you don't realize that you're in the midst of the fog. It's once that fog clears up where it's like, oh shit, I was in the fog this entire time. And I mean, if you actually care about getting better, you'll realize like, hey man, like I can't do things that are going to slow me down. Right, like alcohol was that thing for me. It's crazy, but it's like at least this current season, it may be for the rest of my life. But like sweets in general, they slow me down, dude. So it's like me being a person that does not live for myself. I get myself better, so that way everybody around me and that I get the opportunity to be around, they get better, dude. Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure that every habit that I have is going to ensure that I'm at my absolute best, undeniably. Like, undeniably, right?
Yeah, in the Bible, it talks about how it says to stay sober and be sober and stay vigilant.
Yeah.
You can't do that by having alcohol in you. You actually become completely opposite.
Yeah, you're doing the opposite of those things.
You don't pay attention. You don't pay attention to nothing, and you are unsober. Therefore, you can't control your conversations, although you may think you are. But that's why they call them spirits. My grandma would tell me that. It's why they're called spirits, because there are spirits in them.
You're attaching negative spirits on you, dude.
You're intaking it, you know, and it's just people don't want to hear it. They're like, nah, I feel good, but that's because you don't want to face your problems. You're having a fog of not wanting to face reality.
You're escaping reality.
You're escaping reality, and you think you're strong by doing it, but really you're, no offense, but you're weak about it, and it's just like you are minimizing your potential. There you have such maximum potential. It's like why we tell kids don't do certain things, right? But when we go do it as adults. Like, hey, don't drink, don't cuss, don't do this, don't do that. But then it's like, well, then why is it when we get as adults we drink, we cuss, we do all these things, or so you see it, and it's just like, bro, if you know, everybody's always telling somebody this is how you should do things, but then they don't do it for themselves, or they, you know, tell kids, they're surprised when their kid grows up and he's always drinking, or they're always indulging in something. It's like, well, because you accepted it, you thought it was cool, and it's like you're not holding each other accountable. You're not even doing it yourself, and it's not like bashing someone. It's like, well, do it yourself. Take a responsibility upon yourself, so that you can have that conversation. It's like, look at how I live. Look at what I do. Look at what it does for me. Like you, it says you said that it helps you. Exercise helped you not only physically but mentally. It helped you out financially. Helped you out in your relationships. It's helping you out in your business. It's helping you out in so many ways. Take it from somebody who does it. You know, like you do it.
It's just
you
building
know?
that discipline, man.
That discipline, and a
Yeah.
lot of people don't have discipline. We're adults, so you get to choose your life, and half the time, I'd say about, I don't know, I'm not gonna give a percentage, but a lot of people take the easy route.
Yep.
In
Path
every
of least
way,
resistance.
and the easiest route, and it's like, dude, you know, you're missing out on life.
Yep.
You know, and it's unfortunate, but hopefully, you know, you can't start with everything, but start with something and say, hey, okay, I'm gonna make a commitment to cut this out or try this and get better in life, and then watch it just floodgate open of doing all these other things. You're gonna start realize the fog will naturally become clear in your head, and you'll start. I do agree though.
Yeah, dude.
Cut the alcohol out.
For
like,
real,
no
man.
kidding, because it's
Makes a big difference if you do.
it took me a lot. It did. It opened up my eyes to so many things. But yeah, man. Let's see. So, man, we're gonna have to. I appreciate you coming on, dude.
been
I know.
an honor
I
being
hate
on
to.
here, man.
Yeah, for real. I hate to cut it off like that. But dude, it was so much that we covered, and I'd love for you to come on again.
Yeah,
honestly.
man. Yeah,
Seriously.
we'll make it happen. Like,
Yeah, when you have
I just
time.
felt like we were getting started. You know,
I know.
but I get
know.
it, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, y'all. Chris he helps me out daily with, he don't even know it, but I watch his videos all the time on Instagram, and it's just always something that makes me. There's, even for me personally speaking, there's sometimes where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to see Chris's story today, you know, because it's like,
he's gonna check my ass.
yeah,
now.
it's like, oh man, I don't know, because it's gonna make me feel convicted. There's gonna be something in me that's not gonna make me feel good, right? So it's just, you know, what's your where can they find you at? And if somebody is wanting to join your Chris Moreno training program, what are the steps they need to take?
I mean, it's Chris Moreno Training, Instagram, website is chrismorenotraining.com. The way that I work with people, it comes down to really if I can for sure guarantee you the results. So it's not like I'm here training every single person out there, because I want to make sure that I can for sure 100%, not like, oh, well, maybe, like, no, I can guarantee the result. Like, hey, we will for sure get you where it is that you want to be. But the only way that I can determine that is by having a conversation. So for sure, signing up for a succession session, just a video call, then dude, like that will be the first steps towards us possibly working together. And if I can for sure give you the result that you're looking for, then I'll tell you exactly what it is that needs to happen, whether that's in-person training, whether that's like macro coaching, whether that's workout coaching, whether it's a combination of those three. But I present the option to the person based off what they tell me, right? I don't just recommend all three to every single person, because honestly, person A may just need macro coaching, and person B may just need help with like workouts, and then person C may prefer face-to-face training, you know? So it's like, but the only way that I can know that is by having a conversation.
Yeah.
And like as far as like pricing goes, like it's based off what it is that you need. So I don't have a set price point on like basically like a rate. It's not like, oh, hey bro, how much you charge? Oh, it's X amount. Like, no, it comes down to what it is that you need help with and the degree of the help that you need. And then based off those things, we'll determine, okay, these are going to be the habits that we need to do. These are going to be the type of training that we need to do. This is going to be the eating that we need to go. Whether we go tracking macros, calories, or we go about it following a diet based upon your history. Like, again, it's all individual based.
Yeah, and that's what I love about you. And it's just speaking from experience. That's what he did with me, and it worked. I remember gaining. I forget. I don't know. I was gaining inches though. Like I had on my legs. I was gaining. My chest was getting bigger. I think I lost. No, actually, I lost in my legs, which was so weird because I was lifting more in my legs. But that's something that you told me. It was hilarious. It was
Lost some body fat, gained some muscle mass.
It's like, dude, we can't pick a certain spot where we lose fat. Our body just loses it. You're like if you want to lose. If you want to lose fat in your face, you can't just I'm
gonna train my face, bro. I don't need to do anything else.
Yeah. So that's one thing I loved about you, and I do love about you, man, is that you do take the time and due diligence to understand, game plan, go over commitment, and of like I'm going to do this. This is what you're going to do with me. We're going to follow this plan. And these are the results that are going to happen. And they do happen. As long as you follow it.
Yes.
As long as you follow. If you're not committed, because it's just going to, everything Chris offers and does shows, it just has results. Everything that you do has results. The only way that they don't show results is if you don't have commitment.
Yeah, they don't do the work, man.
If y'all don't do the work and you go to him, it's all on you. But if you're looking to get better mentally, physically, in every way, just do the work. Do what he puts out for you. He knows his stuff. You know your nutrition. You know everything. You do your work. I consider you a professional in what you do because I really do, because you're in every aspect, bro. You're just there. You're a true life coach and a fitness coach, and it works. And it's like a high being around you or working with you, you know, and you're very supportive whenever you're there. If they do in-person training or whatever, you're just always like, come on, man, you can do it. Come on, more. And it's beautiful. It's what the world, you know, needs more of. And I feel like I'm honored because I get to talk to you in the beginning, and I've known you most of my life. So it's just like, it's great to see you now and see where you're going to go. And I believe like the sky's the limit for you, dude. It's just only the beginning. So, but yeah, man.
Thank you very much, man.
For sure.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
It, man.
And thank y'all for watching, and love yourself so that you can go love someone else.